What's up, YouTubers? Just bringing an update on the old Explorer here. Gonna do a lift today, a couple body trimming stuff, give you an update on a few things I've done already and I haven't really told you about. Just been wheeling the shit out of her. So first off, I put skid plate in the winch on the front. For anybody who's wheeling a Gen 2 Explorer, you know you can't find stuff like that to just bolt on. So had to do a little bit of fabrication, a little bit of hillbilly work here. This is the skid plate I made up. Had to tap right into the frame because it's boxed in, so there's no nut. It's just actually threaded right into the frame. It's held up pretty good. It's taken some good abuse. I actually found this skid plate in my buddy's scrap pile. It was too wide and we cut it down and stitched her back together, put it up there, and it has worked great. It's got a little opening here. It's not quite perfect fit, if you can see. I got her packed full of mud there, but it does the job. Other thing, got a little cheapo winch here from Tractor Supply Plus. Came with a winch plate. Actually came up through the bottom side, if you can see there, with the winch plate, and bolted it to the frame. Had to do some finesse work. I hope you can see in there. Getting nuts and bolts in place there, and went ahead and incorporated the hooks in through the winch plate. It's actually 6 bolts holding the winch plate to the Explorer itself, the front of this frame, which is pretty tough. It's boxed in pretty good. Of course, when I put the winch in, I had to take the bumper apart. I actually skinned all the metal and the hard plastic out. That's just a plastic cover getting on there right now. Pretty flimsy. It's just screwed right into the fenders there. But took a big crunch up here on that hill on the farm trail video. I'm sure you can see it there. It was a pretty hard crunch there with no bumper. So need to get me a good bumper on there. But right now we're wheeling. So the rear bumper I actually did away with also. I took the hitch and flipped it upside down, hammered it into the frame there, and put a couple bolts right back in it. It's actually working out pretty well. Pretty hillbilly job there. That's what I am, that's what I do. But it was scraping on me pretty bad. That was actually the old bottom of it.
Yours got just 2 loops?
Look at that, man. But it was just enough to clear the old tailgate. Just enough so that guy will open and close. So, turned out pretty well. Have no rear bumper. Of course, these guys right here are pretty vulnerable, so I'm just going to cut them off. Who needs that? Alright, if you wheel a Generation 2 Explorer, you know not a whole lot of off-the-shelf parts for you to buy. This was a Shackle Lift I bought from Warrior Products. Looks pretty beefy, pretty well built. Very tough. That is a factory Ford shackle I had left over. They sent the bolts in with this kit too as well. Pretty cool. Advertised as an 1.25" lift. We'll see. I'll measure it out and see exactly how much I do get out of it. I'm just going to crank the torsion bars in the front and see how she goes. Now my particular Explorer is a Sport Edition. Not so much on the tow pack. It's got a single leaf spring on each side in the rear. So it appears that Ford did here was to put a couple false leaf springs in so that the shock plate would be in the same spot. So at the same time when I'm doing this lift, I'm going to go ahead and take those U-bolts off and take those little spacers out. And it looks like it's got threads all the way up, so I might be able to just zip it right back in place, gain a little bit of ground clearance, put the shocks back in their factory position, and do my lift at the same time. Hopefully. By the way, rain's flooded. Uh-oh. Particular Generation 2 Explorer I 4-wheel here is a 2000. It's got the regular 4-liter in it. No extra power or nothing, but it gets the job done. It's pretty durable motors. Covered in mud, still works fine. But when I bought it, I actually had this guy on it here, which has been a problem. Gets a howl when it's really hot outside. Just at idle, if you're just sitting still, this thing howls like crazy. I'm sure you've heard it in some of my videos. But it also gets packed full of mud pretty easily. whenever I hit any kind of mud hole, it just slings up there and buries that thing in water and dirt and mud. So another future project will be a snorkel. It will be super redneck hillbilly style, because that's the only way I know. Or just punch a hole right through the hood there. But that's another project down the pipeline. Gonna be seeing here soon. But it's also a 5-speed transmission, which is kind of rare, I guess, in these guys here. It's called the Mazda Transmission. It's been tough as nails. It's geared real high, so is the ring and pinion. Ring and pinion's at a 327, which is ridiculous. And first gear in this thing is not low. So that has been a little bit of a challenge. Gonna keep the tire size pretty reasonable at 33 for now. If we get a different set of gears, I might bump it up to a 33, maybe. Kind of afraid of tearing the front end apart in these things, but we'll see. We'll see. Of course, another problem I had is I got a little too close to a tree. For now, we're in Ohio. Winter's coming up. Gonna get a little chilly. I'm gonna put a piece of plexiglass, just get through the winter. Window fixed. Ghetto style, but fixed. And self-tapping screws. Nasty caulk. Plexiglass. Winter time. Another problem I have with this bad boy is gas tank. There's no skid plate on the gas tank. Probably hard to kind of find one. As you can see, I stoved her in pretty good there. She's pretty fucked. But yeah, I probably need to get a new gas tank. Good solid skid plate underneath it too. I don't think that thing's gonna pop out. That's pretty bad. Really, Ford? Really? Tires I run on this guy is a 31-10-50 Mickey Thompson MTZ. Just straight wore out. Just hit. Bought them for 25 bucks from a friend of mine. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. 3 of them are at least. They're all hit. But the one in the back here is just an off-brand, all-terrain. Put in there to complete the set. But they are junk, man. Just junk. Absolute junk. Alright, got the first shackle bolt out here. Shackle is out. I had this one out before and replaced it because it had broken 2 pieces when I bought it. So I knew the bolts were free somewhat. The one bolt, threads got all boogered up on it, and I just got the nut on there as best I could, and I fucking filled that bastard full of weld. So instead of trying to unturn it or anything, I just cut her off there with the old grinder. The other one I took a pretty healthy breaker bar and did some cranking on it. You can see here, got a good bushing in the frame there. Not good bushing, it's pretty beat to hell. Driving it with the rear end welded up beats those bushings out something fierce. But if you know me, you know I'm all about the budget jobs. Also cut away this guy right here. A little extra stuff hanging down there. She's built to go, not for show, so not real concerned about cosmetic stuff. Just saws all the hell out of it. It'll be okay. So now I'm going to try to shove that other shackle in there. Alright, so there's one side in. A little trick I've seen used a few times, a little bottle jack there on the leaf spring to the frame. Just push it out enough to get your bolt lined up. Whew. Yeah, the other side fought me pretty good though. But you get her in, got her done. Got the rear end done at least. Drive it a little tight. She's pretty raked. But I'm going to load her down with tools, all the stuff I take on trail with me. And adjust the front end from there. And we'll be wheeling. So this is your torsion bar. There's the lower control arm there. Controls the suspension. What I did, I jacked it up, put it on the centered cross member. That way there's no pressure on those lower control arms. And come back here, follow the torsion bar. Got a little tab goes over this cross member guy. Let's see here. Right there's the bolt. 13 millimeter. Give it a little crank. Make sure it's nice and even on each side. And off she goes. Do not crank that bolt with the tires on the ground, though. You will break it. Alright, so that about did it. That got me about the inch I was looking for there. Kit said 1.25 inches. After I got the rear end loaded down with tools and stuff, it come out about 1 inch. Take a look at the front end here. Now you can see those CVs are still straight. No bind on them. That's a full inch too. Still just right, perfect. Just good. But yeah. They were just plain flat there, just slightly tilted now. Good deal. Shouldn't hurt anything. Happy with it. Didn't hardly cost me anything. So hopefully we'll see you out on trail. Wildlife in my shop.